Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land. It's so good to be with you again in the You Are Worthy Network. What day is it? You ever have those weeks? I'm like, my schedule's all messed up. Internet was down all day Monday. I'm on crutches. I'm not going to cry you that whole river. But I'm like, what day is it? It is Thursday, right? But regardless of what day it is, I'm excited to be with you guys. And the You Are Worthy Network is where you come to get a little shot of encouragement for the rest of your day. It's where you go to hear stories of inspiration, success, but also how entrepreneurs and leaders have overcome difficult situations and even their own unworthiness, or at least they thought unworthiness in their minds, to go on to continue their journey to be successful. And it's a great time to remind each of you that you're worthy of love, respect, and success, and your story's not over yet. Be encouraged by that. So, with all that being said, I'm excited to introduce you to our guest today. I'm going to read her bio, and it is extensive because she has a lot of experience, and that's a good thing. Michelle Van Etten is an entrepreneur, speaker, coach, and PEMF wellness specialist dedicated to helping individuals reclaim their health, freedom, and sense of purpose. With a background rooted in entrepreneurship and personal transformation, Michelle has built her life around one core mission: empowering others to take back control physically, financially, and mentally. Her journey through both success and adversity has shaped her into a powerful voice for resilience, leadership, and reinvention. As a coach, Michelle works closely with individuals and entrepreneurs to break through limitations, simplify their path forward, and step into a higher level of confidence and independence. Her approach is grounded in real life experience, practical strategy, and a deep understanding of what it takes to rebuild and rise stronger. Today, Michelle is a recognized leader in the wellness technology space as PEMF Pulsed Electromagnetic Field Specialist. Through her work with OliLife, she collaborates with wellness centers, medical spas, and forward thinking entrepreneurs to integrate advanced frequency based technology into modern wellness practices. She is passionate about educating others on the role of cellular energy, circulation, and recovery in supporting the body's natural processes while helping businesses elevate their offerings with innovative solutions. Michelle's ability to simplify complex wellness concepts and connect them to real life results has made her a trusted resource for both practitioners and individuals seeking alternative approaches to health optimization. She is also honored to hold the title of Miss International Ambassador for I think I'm saying that right, Living Royal, representing a global movement dedicated to elevating women into leadership, confidence, and purpose. Through this platform, she inspires others to step boldly into their calling and embrace their full potential. In 2016, Michelle was a featured speaker at the Republican National Convention, where she shared her story of resilience, growth, and entrepreneur vision, solidifying her presence as a compelling and authentic voice of influence. Grounded in her belief of faith over fear, Michelle continues to lead with conviction, helping others break through limitations, restore balance, and create a life rooted in strength, freedom, and possibility. Woo, exciting stuff. Michelle, welcome to the You Are Worthy Network.
Thank you. When I listened to that back, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Isn't it weird having somebody read it back?
It really is. I'm like sitting here going, man, did I really do all that? I listened. Yeah.
I know
Like
some of
living
it's
10
like, it
lives
seems
in
like,
one.
yeah, it's like a movie going right before your eyes real quick. It's there's so much packed in there, and we could go so many different routes, but let's ease into it. Tell one of the wonderful things about what's happened with this network is, as we approach 12,000 members here in a few days, is people are going to watch this eventually in different parts of the world. So tell the folks where you're from and tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, I'm living in Tampa, Florida. I am married for 24 years. Yeah, 24 years. We've been together 25. So it's like 24, 25, something like that. We have two children, a girl and a boy, two fur babies, and we're just kind of living our dream, right? We live on the water, enjoy life, go out boating, spend time with our friends. Yeah.
I love that. That is one part of Florida I've not been, and I hear great things about Tampa, Sarasota, Clearwater, that whole area, but I've never been there. So one day, so I hear good things about it.
It's a great area.
Yeah,
We love
a
it.
lot of entrepreneurs live in that area too.
They do. There's some really big entrepreneurs over here. I think it has a lot to do with because when you're on the water, a lot of people dream of being on the water. And then you want to be close to an airport, right? So we're pretty close to the
Yep,
airport as well. So and you want it to be a big enough location that if you have people coming in, you have something to show them. So that's kind of
yep,
has a lot to do with the location.
yep, absolutely. And so, what do you guys do for fun? Do you take to the water? Do you stay local? Do you like to travel?
Oh, I love traveling. I travel a lot. Um, for fun. We do a lot of everything. So we'll go out on the boat, or most of the time, we'll sit on our dock and watch the sunset. It's
Mm,
just so beautiful. I mean, we go out there for coffee in the morning. We see dolphins in our backyard. We see
mm.
manatees in our backyard. And then we have an outdoor kitchen. So if I could live just outside, I would, because that was my dream. I wanted to be outside. I wanted to be in nature. I have this thing with being grounded, and water grounds me. So I spent a lot of time out there.
Yeah, so much peace to the water. Yeah, that sounds so relaxing for sure. What's your favorite place to travel to? Where's your favorite place you've ever been?
I gotta say, as far as just unique, was Dubai. That
Hmm.
was really cool. But then I've also been in Australia, and in Australia we had all of these parrots in our tree, and we were staying in a place that it was like all Elvis, so it was kind of cool too. And I mean, if you talk about Greece, I've been to Santorini, and we're heading back to Mykonos. So I've been a lot of really gorgeous places, and so I don't know if I can name just one.
Yeah. Well, that's
There's too
good.
many out there. Yeah, there's too
Yeah.
many out there, and too many places. We're going to be going to Mykonos, and then we're heading over to Italy again. One of my passions, I'm a level two sommelier, which is a wine expert. So we plan on hitting some of the really nice wineries and castles and doing that kind of a trip.
When are you taking that trip?
July.
Okay, right around the corner. That sounds like a blast. So Michelle, let's get in the time machine and let's travel back in time, maybe a couple of years for you. Um, Senior year in high school. I want to get into 18-year-old Michelle's mindset because as you know, 17, 18-year-old seniors, they're all over the place of where their mind is, where their emotions are, what they're gonna do. Do they know what they're gonna do? Are they clueless? So let's say there's 2 weeks left. You've got your cap and gown, you're marking down the days, graduation is right on the horizon. Are you like are you that young lady that knows exactly what you're going to do that summer? Maybe you're already working a job and you're going to keep working it. Do you know where you're going to go to school? Do you know what you're going to do? You can't wait to get out of there, senioritis to the max. Or are you unsure? Are you unclear? Are you going to miss your teachers, your classmates, the structure? Somewhere in between. Tell us where you were.
This is kind of fun. Okay, so I'm 5'11", and I weighed about 99 pounds in high school. And so I was into modeling. Thank God, I am thanking God every day for this. It was around that time where everything was really bad in the end in modeling. Um, I was going to be going to New York. They were going to be putting me up in one of those places in New York so I could start my modeling career. But my mom, for some reason, had some kind of feeling against it. Me, I couldn't wait to get out. I was like, I'm ready, I'm ready. And they used the excuse they couldn't afford it. And I used to blame her for that because I was like, Mom, you took away my dream. But when I look at some of the things that I've learned about recently, I look at, no, God was protecting me even then. It was crazy, but yeah, I was in that age range. They were going to put me right into the arms of people that shouldn't have been in there and doing things. So it was a blessing in disguise, but because of that, I had no plan. None. And my parents
Mm.
moved away. I was living with my boyfriend at the time. My parents moved away after college, or not college, after high school, and they went to Tallahassee. And then we broke up, and I stayed for a little while. I stayed in Tallahassee until I couldn't make it work on my own. I'm only 18. I've got my own apartment, and it's kind of ironic because my first apartment was also on the water. I don't know how I got that, but I was living above a bait and tackle shop. That was my first apartment. So I was there for like 6 months, and then I couldn't do it any longer, and I had to tuck my tail between my legs and head home to my parents. So packed everything up and moved to Tallahassee.
Oh goodness. And I'm sitting there listening to you describe, the modeling potential and that it didn't work out and you were, upset with your mom for a little bit. It reminded me a little bit. I'm not huge into country music, but that Garth Brooks song, Unanswered Prayers.
Mm, very much so. So was the ex-boyfriend.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it was about that time. It was that you could just sum all that time up to unanswered prayers. Thank you, Jesus, once again. Yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of at 18, even though you're really just getting started, you're having to hit a reset button again. So what happens next? Do you enroll in a 4-year school?
No, I didn't have any grades. Remember, I was a modeling. Didn't care about any of
Mm.
that. I didn't think I was ever going to need it. I thought I was going to walk runways and be in magazines. That was my goal in life. I had already done some work, so I was like, yeah, that was the next step. And I thought I would be married too. I had been with the same person for 7 years, so it wasn't like
Mhm.
I, was new to that part either. So I was lost. And I was going from a really small itty bitty town of Vero Beach, zero Vero, to Tallahassee, which was a wild place.
Yeah.
And so it was, yeah, it was wild. It was such a different world that I was walking into. And it was a college world that I had no clue about. Like it was just so different than what I had been used to. And of course, me not having that kind of, experience, I was like, I want to go out and party. I want to go out here. I want to hang out with these people. And so I just started partying more than I did anything else. And I got into community college.
Okay. And at that point in time, going to community college, was it just the next right thing to do, or did you have a goal as far as education goes with it? I
Gold.
can tell by the reaction.
So, and, like one of the other things when you guys were talking about the RNC, right? One of the things that I did there was I had a story about the circus. I was a young kid and I went around and I sold tickets to a circus in my neighborhood. And I just wanted some cash for some candy. So I forgot, I didn't tell my parents anything about it or anything like that. And so people showed up at our house for a circus. And my dad's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Hum dum dee dum dee dum." I mean, I dressed the dog up. I turned my little brother into a clown. It was fun. I was ready. And he's like giving people back their money. And he came up to me and he told me, he's like, "Honey, you can do be or have anything you want as long as you're willing to do the work." And I'm like, "Well, I just did." And go to college. So in my life, every single thing was you have to go to college, you have to go to college, you have to go to college. It was ingrained in me. So there was no other choice. Now that modeling was off the table, there was nothing else there, right? I was like, I got to go to college. So it wasn't really a thought. It was a you will.
Yeah.
So
I had options.
it was that age though. Like my kids, I gave them a choice. I'm like, you can or you can't. I don't see it the same way. Being an entrepreneur, I don't see it the same way. But for them, and I let them make their choices. In my house, no, no, no. That was not the case.
Yeah, I totally relate to that because looking back, when I was 18, I did go to a 4-year school, but I wasn't ready. If I was honest now, I would say I just did it because that's what everybody was doing. It was the next progression of life for those that are around me, so I did it too. But I wasn't mature enough to handle the independence and the responsibilities that came with it, and that came out in the consequences thereafter. But like even raising my kids, and I'm having this conversation with my oldest, who's a senior now. He definitely has the intellect and the maturity that I didn't have to go to a 4-year school, and he would excel at it, but he doesn't want to do it. He's really good with his hands. He loves creating, and he's already in a paid apprenticeship that's going to make him a lot of money when he gets that certification in 2.5 years. And I'm like, he's going to be crushing it at 21. And like I had to battle through some of my own judgments, I guess, if you will. And now I've pushed through that. I'm like, you know what? He's going to do great. And now the people I talk to are all like, trades is where it's at now for the young people, and entrepreneurship, obviously, too. But most people don't do that so young. But yeah, I love that you're teaching your kids that. And let's take you back to Tallahassee because it wasn't all pleasant in Tallahassee. You had a
No.
very, very unfortunate incident, and that's understating it, but I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, so in life you have crossroads and things that happen. Well, I went to Tallahassee and it was like Disneyland, right? It was just a big playground and I was so upset by losing somebody and losing all of the thoughts that I thought were going to, the things that were going to be in my life. So I just got into hanging out with everybody and going out and I got a job. I was bartending. And while I was bartending, I started making enough money that finally I could move out of my parents' house. So I move into my new apartment complex. And it's like I want to say it's probably the first week I am there. My neighbors have a party. And so I go to this party. I know I drank way, way more than I should have. And that part I don't blame myself for, but I know that I had consumed a lot of alcohol. And I met this guy. I was talking to him the whole night. To this day, I probably blocked out his name, but we'll just say John. I met him and we talked the whole night. I thought he was a great guy. And then I realized that I had probably had a little bit too much. I'm going to go back to my apartment. So I left and went back to my apartment. The next thing I know, I get a knock on my door. And not thinking anything of it, I look out, I see it's him. I'm like, oh, okay, this is all right. Maybe they told him where I live. I don't know. And I let him in. That was like the biggest mistake of my life. Because what happened next, I hated myself for years and years and years and went down and spiraled in so many ways from what happened next. Because he raped me. And the thing about that and what was so traumatizing was I did not move. I froze. So, in life, there are things that happen, right? So, most people talk about your flight and fight responses. They think that that's all there is. 70% of women and men who are assaulted, their body, it actually betrays them. There's something called freeze, and it's tonic immobility. That is the name of it. Tonic immobility. Your body releases three chemicals: serotonin, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. And it floods your body with those chemicals. And your body reacts to freeze. And when I say freeze, you can't speak, you can't move your limbs, and you can't fight back, and you can't run. You literally, some people disassociate. Some people think they're floating above their body. Some just shut their eyes and scream in their head, but nothing comes out of their mouth. But they blame themselves for the rest of their life unless they get through it. Because why didn't I scream? Why didn't I call for my roommate? Why didn't I push them off? What did I want? I must have wanted it and didn't realize it. I don't remember the fuzzy details completely. So there's just so many different things that women and men, but mostly women go through where they're saying, I let this happen. This is my fault. They blame themselves and they don't stop blaming themselves.
Hmm.
So on that blame spiral, I spiraled out of control. After that incident, I dropped out of college. I got into drugs. I started working in a dance club. I did things that nobody should because I didn't know who I was anymore. And what I didn't realize, it wasn't my fault. It was never my fault. And I wrote a PDF. So if you're watching this and you would like that PDF, we're going to have a place where you can email me and get it. But give it to your college student if you have one. If you're going through it yourself, it was never your fault. If you
Yeah.
froze, 70% do, and over 60% do not ever report it. So there's a lot of broken people out there right now. And one of my ultimate goals in life is to speak to those women and men and let them know that it isn't their fault. And I plan to be going to colleges to do that in my spare time because I have so much of it. But that's what I plan to speak on because I want to set you free and let you know.
Wow. First of all, I'm so sorry. I know it was a long time ago, but still, I'm sorry that happened to you. It should have never happened. Um, this information that you have obtained is gold. I mean, when you and I talked a few weeks back and told me that, I thought this is a game changer. And I don't know many women or anybody that has that information that you have. So yes, absolutely share it. When did you learn this? And upon learning it, how did that change? Because I mean, you've described some of the negative lifestyle choices you made on the heels of that, which I'm sure you have some regrets, but yet it's understandable because your self-worth was destroyed. So let me be clear. When did you obtain the information and how did that tool in your tool belt change things?
That's the sad part. I didn't get this information until a few years ago.
Oh.
I I just blamed myself for everything and just thought, okay, I fought through it. I'm a survivor, right? You just survive. That's the
Mm.
way life is all about. But then I started, my girlfriend wants me to do a TED Talk. And so she's been trying to get that out of me for a while. And when I started doing a lot of this research and really understanding, because I knew that there was something to it. I knew there had to be some reason why this happens. It wasn't just me. And it was after I had already I had already gone through hardcore leadership is the name of the program. I went through that and I released myself from so much of the baggage that I had been dealing with. But I needed to know that there was something more. Like I could feel it. God kept pushing me towards it. Like, keep learning, keep growing, keep growing. You're getting closer. You're getting closer. You're starting to understand. And that's when I started discovering this tonic immobility. And then I started looking into all of these different ways that it was affecting people because I'm a nerd. Don't let the hair fool you. I'm the biggest nerd you could ever meet. I once I start researching something, I know I don't stop. I'm just like, okay, I need to know more, and then give me more. And then honestly, now that chat's available, I can sit there and get into some of the most intense conversations with chat and make chat do even more research and then give me more answers. And so, yeah, I can go down some major
You
rabbit holes.
you haven't slept in years now.
I know, right? I'm like, I'm not even sleeping anymore. I just need to know and learn and this and that. But I knew probably 3 years ago that one of my callings. So if you're on here and you hear this and you have a college or that you would like me to come speak at, let me know because I would love to do it. I know this is what I'm called to do. It's one of the things that has been God put on my heart, and it's going to happen. I don't know. I know I'm going to probably be on a lot of podcasts saying the same thing over and over until it does, but I know that this is where I'm supposed to really make a difference. Because people, when I said it to one girl, she goes, "My daughter thinks it's her fault. She's blamed herself. She's gone down this spiral. She's done this, that, the other." And it was never her fault. You know, your body fails you. It fails you to protect you.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So this was you were 19,
Yes.
and obviously I'm not going to ask you your age, but
I'll tell you,
you're
April 20th,
talking.
I'll be 52.
Oh, sweet, sweet. I'm just a week ahead of you, by the way. Um,
Happy early birthday.
you as well. I'm thinking of so you just learned this a few years ago. So you basically lived with this for 30 years, 25,
Yes.
30 years.
Yes.
Yeah, this message has got to get out there. I definitely see your mission on this. How and I know I'm forwarding a little bit. How did you get through? Because you didn't have the tool yet. I get it. You pull yourself up by the bootstraps, you survive, you move on. Did faith have any role in this? Far,
So,
far as helping you get through it.
no, none. That's the craziest part about it. My dad, he had always taught me whoever, whatever, be it one God or be it many, who created beauty around me, that is my God. So it was always about nature. That's all I believed. And that didn't change until 2016. And that was when I spoke. The world got really crazy after that for a little bit. And
Mm,
that's how I found out that God was real.
wow.
Yeah, it was wild. It was, I had just decided after an almost death experience with a train that yeah, that I was on a train track to hell. And I didn't know the name of the place, but I just knew that if I didn't change my ways, if I didn't start doing the right thing, I wouldn't be here. So I went back to college and I ended up graduating with honors in psychology as my major and political science as my minor from Florida State. Now, I was on a much longer plan. It took me about 10 years to get that degree. There was a long time in between that I didn't have it. But when I crossed the line, I was actually pregnant with our son. So what really changed me and what saved me was my husband. He is
How's that?
he's military. He was military at the time. He's retired military now, Navy. And I was a Navy wife. And that's what changed me. It was having his support and his love. He made me want to be a better person.
Mm. Wow, what a great thing to say about your spouse. Wow, what a special guy. So let's you referenced 2016. I know there's a lot of life in between, but let's camp there for a minute. Where did that call come from to go
So
speak?
this is so funny. Okay, this is God in His wisdom without telling me who you are. Okay, there's no other way around it. Um, I'll give you like the beginning, like a little bit of the background story, so it makes sense. Otherwise, it wouldn't make any sense. I was in fashion. I had built a fashion studio. I was working in network marketing. The company was Longevity, but I was doing fashion, their fashion side, and I was working with a woman named Marissa Kinson. And she was teaching me about God in a way, even though she took me to church. She would try. And I wasn't really listening, but I was. I guess I was starting to learn a little, but I didn't really know I was learning it. She wasn't very subtle, but she was very good about helping me without forcing me, right? Because I had to walked away if force was ever a part of it. So she had been invited to the Businesswomen for Trump event before the rally in LA. Well, she invited about 10 of us to go. She couldn't go. She got sick, so she couldn't make it. Out of the 10, one wasn't allowed to go because she was in Playboy and they found that out. But all the rest of us went to this Businesswomen for Trump event. Okay. My my girlfriend and the owner of 4 Living Royal, the ambassadorship I have, she came up to me. Like, I didn't speak at the event. One of our girlfriends was supposed to, she was Miss California at one point. She was going to sing the national anthem. And of course, somehow the place lost the music. And so Trump asked her if she could do a cappella. And she's like, yeah. So we all get like brought around to the back for her. So we're standing behind Trump in that event. But during that, an LA reporter came up beforehand. And one of my girlfriends had spoke and was talking at the Businesswomen for Trump event. I didn't say a word, but she asked me a question. She said, what do you think about Businesswomen for Trump? I said, I'm going to bring it to Florida. I said, we need a chapter in Florida. We need to start this and get this to become, in all the states. And and that's all I really said. They quoted me and they quoted her. The next thing I know, I get a call. I honestly thought until the end that it was going to be one of those Businesswomen for Trump events for like 140 women before the main event. That's what I thought. No. Mm-mm. No. No. And then there was a mess up in the press release. So they had me a small business, but they put in the press release that I had 100,000 employees. I had 10,000 distributors. They put an extra 0 on it and put it as an employee thing. And then they made it look like I was the owner of the company. And the owner, her name's Michelle. So that was entertainment. So I was dealing with so much. I mean, if there was a way to take somebody down, that was it, because I learned what Trump goes through, President Trump goes through. I had like 30 pages of bad press. And I'm not talking like whole pages on Google search. And it was all because I worked with Longevity, nutraceuticals. I'm the first person in network marketing to ever grace that stage in that way as the business. And they're like, why would you I have no idea. God has all his own plans. But yeah, I stood up there in front of 50,000 people.
Oh, where was it that year? Milwaukee?
Ohio.
Ohio. Okay. And so what a esteemed thing to be asked to do. Um, describe your emotions walking out there, but I also know you got firsthand experience about how speeches can change at the last minute and technology failing in unique ways.
Yeah, that's so entertaining. I wasn't the only one. Kimberlyn had it too. It was so she actually got a lot more times to practice, but she's a movie star, so of course she got more time. But they were doing it to everybody. So speech changed. I wrote the speech, but we had a speech writer, and that's fine. But they handed me the speech right beforehand, like maybe a couple hours, and I'm trying to learn this thing, and they bring me in to do it and tell me I have to use a teleprompter. Thank God I did not take their advice totally on the teleprompter. I memorized it too. Otherwise, it would have been really bad. You could see me shaking when it happens. But everything about the 2016 RNC, anybody who's watching, if you were there, lights were going out, teleprompters were being set back, TVs would go off with the information on them, and then they told us we had to use the teleprompter. They were set at lower levels than it was done on purpose. They had, because it was K6 area, You had Kasich and
That's right.
Ted Cruz were running against Donald Trump that year. And so nobody was happy about it there because that was, they were causing trouble left, right, and center. I'll just put that.
That's Kasich was governor still then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
right.
Lights were going out. I mean, it would go black in the place. And they keep the teleprompt or the screens on so nobody knew that the whole entire place had blacked out. Nothing was working properly. Oh yeah, it was fun. But yeah, so I'm giving my speech and I'm like, okay, I don't talk like this, but all right, I'll work on learning as much of it as I can and understanding where it came from. Get up there, I start talking, and the teleprompter goes back to the beginning. Not once,
Mm,
but three separate times.
mm.
And I'm very thankful because when it happened to me, I start shaking and everything, but I kept speaking. I might not have been making perfect sense to me because I was like, "Oh my God." But in my mind, like I don't usually visualize things. God didn't give me that ability to see things except for what I've read. It's not a
So,
completely photographic memory, but if it's like very recent, I can recall it almost word for word. So I just kept speaking and I just kept saying whatever I could say. And in my Rolodex in my brain, I was going back to my speech and I would pick right back up. And I did that three separate times. You can see me shaking. I was shaking a lot, but I think considering that it went back three times, I did pretty good.
well, I'm gonna compliment you there because I didn't watch the whole clip, but I watched it where the teleprompter went out because you had told me you were shaking. It's not as noticeable as you think.
Oh,
And
good.
and it's interesting because on a much smaller scale, I just updated my speaker reel in Dallas, and I had some unfortunate things happen on the way on the drive there. I mean, pretty significant, and there was some betrayal, and the person that betrayed me sitting in the front row of where I'm speaking, and
Oh,
I can feel my hamstrings shaking,
mm-hmm.
and I just got the reel back yesterday, and you can't. I mean, I know that I'm shaking because I lived it, right? Like you lived it. But I don't think if anybody doesn't point it out, they can even tell. It's that subtle, Michelle.
Okay, good.
So,
Whew.
but
But
I
yeah,
gotta,
so just think about that though. And not even when I got there. Okay, so when I get there, when we get to the hotel room, there's a guy in the room. We're like, "What is this?" Like, oh, he didn't check
right?
out on time, and they didn't clean the room. Like, you gave me the wrong person's room. Thank God he didn't walk out because he had been in the shower. So I was like, "Oh, this could have been entertainment even more." Yeah,
Okay. So I'm sure you've heard this multiple times, and I'll just echo, you got to write a book.
I do. I have so many books in here that I have to have. But see, I gotta find somebody who wants to just sit and listen to me and write it. Because the
Yeah, that's
writing
true.
part is what holding is holding me up. The actual just physically writing it. I tried with chat. I spent hours with chat, and then chat started to put things together, and we won't even try. That didn't work.
I'll put you in touch with a ghostwriter.
I'm like, I just know that I know I'm supposed to write it. If I told you the other ones, we would be here all day, and you would just be like, people would be okay. Maybe she's a little woo-woo too much for me because it got crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, just what we've talked about so far is book material for sure. So let's go to modern day because I know you're loving network marketing. I know you're on fire for some of the products that are out there right now and how they're helping. Well, they're helping you, they're helping your clients. Tell us more about what you're doing specifically there.
So it's very recent. So what's wild is everything we do I've been in network marketing for almost 14 years, and I'm a
Mhm.
multi seven figure earner in the industry. So I've done things in the industry that most people haven't. But there's so much that's changing. And one of the things that we always talk about is your energy is everything. Your frequency is everything. How you feel when you start to talk to somebody, you can feel it through the phone, through anything that there's And the betrayal is so strong in a lot of companies that it's jading a lot of people from being part of it. So I wasn't looking, but one of my friends was like, you really have to check out what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh gosh. But then he sent me information and it was on something so different, and it's pulse electromagnetic field energy. So where this came from, this is wild when you hear where it came from. So in 19, I think it's 70, Dr. Schumann was hired by NASA to figure out how to help the astronauts from when they go up into zero gravity, not break their bones, not have bones atrophying, or
Hmm.
not bones, but muscles atrophying, and their health depleting, right? This was a huge problem. They were being fed all the right food. They had exercise equipment. They had all the, everything they needed. And it wasn't until Dr. Schumann discovered the Schumann resonance that basically every second of every day, there's lightning striking the earth. And so back in the day, we used to walk barefoot and people were constantly grounding themselves, which is what your body needs, is to have that electrical energy. You are a battery that needs to be charged. And so what they did was Dr. Schumann created a machine that could go up with them and give them that pulse electromagnetic field energy in the spaceship at the space station. And no one was having any problems until 2020. Everybody remember what 2020 was? The vid? Yeah, well, those that were in the space station got stuck and couldn't get home because there was, and it wasn't until Elon Musk sent one of his rockets up there to retrieve them. Well, they were there a few months longer than they were supposed to be. So they shut off their PEMF machine to conserve energy. Not one of them could walk off. They all had to be carried off,
Mm.
wheelchaired out.
Mm.
And if you look back on photos, you'll see them getting wheelchaired out. And
Mm.
yeah, and one of the things, just one of the many things, you don't hear about bone regeneration very often, but FDA actually approved PEMF therapy for bone regeneration. That was one of the first things it was actually approved for. So now I'm working with therapists, wellness centers, doctors, everyday people because we price our product the cost of an iPhone. Back in the day, those machines or the big ones that some of the wellness centers have, they're 30,000. And that's the cheap end. A lot of them are 100 or 200,000. And you can find some of them like at online that are cheaply made, but ours have patents. We have over 1,000 patents on our products. So we've taken all of these different things. And what got me was when my friend was telling me about this, they did $1.5 million in sales in Hawaii with one machine because of the results one person had. And everybody saw it. And I guess there's something about their culture where everybody knows everybody. So they were lined up around the hall to get in and be able to put their feet on this thing and get the energy in them. So people who have neuropathy, anything like that, this helps so much. Just do yourself a little favor and research by put Chat GPT or Grok, I think it is.
Yeah.
Just do PEMF and whatever you're dealing with. And there's about 10,000 research articles that have been published by PubMed, all of these things. This is what's been hidden from us. You hear about people talk about med beds. That's all about pulse electromagnetic energy field. That's like that your body is energy, which makes perfect sense. If you believe in God, your body stays here, but what goes? Your soul, your energy, your life force. This is charging your life force.
Wow. Yeah, and you lit up like a Christmas tree talking about it too.
Did I?
Hmm.
Love it. I love watching people get, just like, well, today is a great example. I could barely move. I tweaked my back sleeping, and I was like, "Oh, I got to do this interview. This is gonna be fun. I'm not gonna be able to move, and I'm like one of those people who talks with their hands. So how am I gonna do this?" So I just put my feet on there for 20 minutes, and I was able to move around. Am I 100%? Not yet. I need to do we have one of these things that can do like intense pulse, PEMF on your back. I didn't do that because I was being lazy, but I'll probably do that and I'll be at 100%. I'm probably about 80, 85 right now.
Yeah. So you gave it one treatment of 20, 25 minutes and you're 80,
Yeah.
85% back. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing results. Um, so besides your summer travel itinerary and the book, see what I did there? Um,
Yeah.
What's next, Michelle?
Well, right. Next week I have two, three in business, maybe four, possibly more. We have business partners coming in, and we are going to be launching all over Florida. So we're going to be going and sharing and letting people try the machines and see, because we want our ultimate goal is to get these in every single house because they can be shared for the family. So you buy it for
Hmm.
yourself, but you can use it. Your animals can use it. It's safe. That's the other one that's safe for, like, FDA is approved for horses, for dogs, for cats, for everything. Veterinarians are using that, the wand to help with the muscles atrophying and things like that for dogs and cats. And it's crazy what they're doing right now. It's mind blowing what was taken away from us by not giving us the knowledge it existed.
Right.
And I'm kind of a little angry about it because my mom had neuropathy so bad. It was awful. She would get lymphedema so bad. If I knew this existed, I would have had it for her and maybe could have had more time with her.
Mm, yeah, that will definitely be a motivator to keep you on this mission that you're on for sure. Where do people learn more about you and find you on social media? We'll include it all in the show notes, but I'd like them to hear it from
Oh,
you.
yeah, it's just Michelle Van Etten. So on Facebook, it's Michelle Van Etten. On Instagram, it's Mish Van Etten because Michelle was already taken. I think I probably had that at one point or gave it up. There's another psychologist that has the same name as me. I'm like, dang, I guess that was the thing to do. Go to college for psychology. Um, but yeah, those are the two places. I have an Instagram, don't really use it. I mean, not Instagram, TikTok, don't really use it.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just not the TikTok girl. Mostly on Facebook. I figured multiple platforms is a little more work, and I've stuck to the one that I started with because it just seems easier.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I tried TikTok last summer and I was like, yeah, no. I guess I proved to everybody that I am old because I went back to Facebook.
I'm telling you, I tried it too, and I was like, I'm old, I guess. It is what it is. But I'm aging gracefully, and I'm loving that fact that I'm not embarrassed of. I'm not gonna tell my age. I'm happy about it.
Absolutely. Just getting started.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
Speaking of just getting started, my dad met somebody at 78, and he's like head over heels, and I'm just like, I'm happy for him because it just shows that you're never too old, and it's never too late.
His story's not over yet.
It's definitely not over. It's just getting started again.
Hmm. Michelle, if you had any last words of encouragement to share with the viewers, what would they be? Anything at all, anything
If
in life.
you if you are in the situation that I was, where you blame yourself for anything that happened to you and you froze, it's not your fault. So my words of encouragement are, don't blame yourself, forgive yourself, set yourself free. Because I can guarantee you on the other side of that freedom is a happiness you never ever even knew existed. Because you hold so much inside you that needs to be let go of. And that's my other bit of words of encouragement for everybody else. Fall flat on your face 100 times. That 101st time you stand back up, that's going to be the one that was your calling.
Mm, that's wisdom right there. Um, Michelle, I want to thank you for being vulnerable. I want to thank you for being wise, and I want to thank you for sharing your story. Not just the peaks, because you've had lots of mountaintops too, and rejoice in that. But I love how you're willing to go there and talk about the valleys, because the truth of the matter is we all have valleys. I've been through many valleys in my life. I'm going through one right now. But there's good stuff going on too. It's all perspective, but I love that you're willing to share the tough stuff because it'll help somebody else. And so we do ask that you do please put the document in the comment section when we get this up. And I want you to know from me, though you probably already know this, but this is what I say to everybody watching anyway at this time. Michelle, that terrible day back in Tallahassee all those years ago, you were worthy that day.
Yes.
It didn't feel like it. The
No,
circumstances made it didn't feel like it, obviously. But you were worthy of love, respect, and success then. And your story obviously was far from over. And so I thank you for being my guest today. You've been inspiring. And if you're listening out there today, your story's not over yet either. And it doesn't happen, the worthiness doesn't happen when the next thing you're working towards, praying for, and do those things. Strive, be all that you can be. Absolutely. But you don't become worthy the day all those things come true for you. You're worthy right now while you're working on them. Michelle, thank you so much.
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Guys, till next time, be encouraged by Michelle's story. It had its ebbs and flows, but her story wasn't over yet. And I think you heard the last several minutes. She's living in her sweet spot right now. And it doesn't mean that the rest of her days will be easy. She'll have some other tough times, but she'll get through those too. And so will you. You are worthy. I appreciate each one of you. God bless.
Bye.